Join me, an out-of-shape, middle-aged introvert from the Midlands, as I step out of my comfort zone and venture into the outdoors. In this video, I'll be touring the area of Biddulph in Staffordshire, visiting Biddulph Garden, Rudyard Lake and Mow Cop. And today I'm at Biddulph Grange Botanical Garden. So last night I bought a annual membership for the National Trust, and I thought the first place I'd use it would be here. This is actually the third time I've been here. The first time it poured down with rain. It was pretty immense. Second time it was before the flowers blooming. This time I'm getting it smack bang in July. It's a little bit busier than I'd like, but it's going to be busy this time of year anyway, to be fair. My favourite part of this garden is the long trail that goes down the back of the garden, and it's like got trees either side. It goes on and on. It's beautiful. I felt really anxious recording whilst I'm here because there's so many people. I did the first loop, I did all my b-roll, and then I went round again for a second loop, and I'm just like finding pockets of quietness to talk to you and tell you what's going on. There's a lot of flowers here, red ones, purple ones, yellow ones, white ones. Honestly, the whole thing goes over my head, but I can kind of appreciate them. You know, they look pretty. I'm mostly here for like the general feeling of the place, you know, like the ooh, I like it here for that. There is a tea room here, but I'm honestly too anxious to go inside and see what it's like. But yeah, being like super anxious does suck a little bit, but like I said, the pockets of like quietness are really, really nice. I'm looking forward to getting back and hiking around trails again, as opposed to going to like a point of interest like this where there's a lot of people out and about just minding their own business. I just like that bit more of solitude, you know. But at least I'm getting outside, and I've done like 2 loops, so that's a win, right? I think I've found my favourite chill out spot. So this is like a little walkway bit, I guess. If you could block that end off, and then if you could block this end off over here, let me send you around, stop anyone walking through. I think this would be a really nice chill spot for my own personal bench and a little picnic, you know. I really like this. Something that I observed recently is that I eat far less when I'm out on my adventures. I feel like I'm eating when I'm out, when I'm hungry, like when I feel like I need something. Where on days where I'm not doing anything and I'm at home just potting around, that seems to be times when I tend to eat more, probably due to boredom or something, I'm not quite sure. But an interesting observation nonetheless. I actually came out wearing shorts today, which never really happens. I have terrible like body image issues, and even though like my legs are like one of my favorite parts, I still prefer to kind of like keep them covered up unless I feel like I'm in a bubble, in a real comfort zone. So that was kind of a big deal today. But it's so warm, I just couldn't really see myself in wearing trousers. I mean, in the past, even on a hot day, I've been so obsessed with my image, I've worn like hoodies and jumpers just to cover myself up a bit, and suffered under the heat, which probably ended up drawing more attention to myself than I would have liked. But it's just the way my brain works, and it's worked that way for a really long time now. Hopefully we can change that with this new thing that I'm doing. I'm looking forward to changing a lot of things, especially the way I view things. Also, shout out to my fellow Trekkies. If any of the Deep Space Nine fans recognise this, then nice. Today I'm at Rudyard Lake, although I did see somewhere online that this is more of a reservoir than a lake. So I thought I'd have a gander around here today. It should be a relatively easy trail, around about 5.5 miles. I started off at a small little train station, actually, not for proper like big size trains, kind of like a small train thing. I mean, it is busy today, but this place is so large, it doesn't feel claustrophobic, and it actually feels really nice. Temperatures are great. Views are great. I'm going to go continue exploring. From what I saw when I looked at the website for this place, you can hire out boats. So whether you want to go on a paddleboard or whether you want to go on a kayak or something, you can rent the equipment, or you can bring your own down. So I thought that was quite nice to have options. I've seen a few boats sitting on the lake right now, not really doing much, just bobbing up and down. I've seen a couple of kayaks and other small vessels going up and down, but to be fair, I've only really just started this route, so I haven't got to see a lot. My view of the lake right now is mostly kind of like this dense stuff, and every so often you'll get a gap where you can like see something going on. I had no issues with bugs or anything, so that's great. In fact, kind of like a side topic, hay fever at this point in time, it's the 1st of August now, I think, or the 31st of July, I can't remember which. Minimal. It's so nice to be able to go outside and not be like all bunged up and sneezing and itchy. It's quite a freeing feeling, and it means I can actually get to enjoy the outdoors for a change. I think for the most part this walk is like a straight line up the lake and then around the edge and then straight back down again. So if I was gonna guess, like 2 miles north, go around the top, 2 miles back south, and then head towards the car again, roughly speaking. It's just the there's nothing too crazy about the shape of the lake. It is kind of like one long line, really. There's a bunch of villas on the other side of the lake as you go up it. I guess for the most part they're probably like holiday homes for renting and stuff. I can't see people like living in them a full time, because you could make a proper fortune just renting them out with those kind of views. I've done quite well recently catching a little bit of the sun. I can see like tan lines now on my arms. I didn't realise it was happening, it didn't even occur to me, but I was hoping to catch a bit more sun today. I just didn't realise that I was going to spend so much time underneath these tree canopies. Oh well. I wish to live a little bit closer, to be fair, because it's such a nice area to see and it's such an easy walk. It would be nice just to go on like chill walks with friends or family without having to worry about like climbing boulders and going through fields and stuff. It just seems like a really, really nice family place to come chill. I made another mistake. I'm never going to learn. I didn't warm up for the walk, and my right leg has come to bite me in the arse a little bit. I am struggling a little bit. I could do with a sit down on a bench or something. There were a bunch down there, but obviously now there's no benches is when I want to sit down. Hopefully I can just need 5 minutes. Not that I'm in a rush or anything. It would just be nice just to give it a rest for a moment. Oh, that's way better. God, looks pretty good, doesn't it? It has just occurred to me that there may be a lot of lake shots in this particular film. There isn't a lot more to look at on this route so far other than the trees and the path, but I still think the lake looks pretty nice, so I'm going to keep taking pictures of it. I've noticed the further north that I've gone up this lake, lots more people fishing. People just parked up on the side, or their fishing gear out, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously you need a license to do all that stuff, but I just think it's really quaint, you know. Someone who appears to be maybe around about my age just jogged or ran straight past me. Respect to runners out there. I don't know how you do it. Whenever I try, my body's like, what are you doing? The most I can do is maybe a light jog for a few seconds, but running, I don't know. To be fair, I've got a lot of baggage to carry around with me when I go running, so maybe as I lose weight that'll be more of an acceptable concept to me. But either way, fair play to you runners out there. I think I'm at the apex now of the lake, so at this point I'm going to go all the way back down again and carry on from there. Hopefully it gets a little bit more interesting. As much as I love the views and what I was looking at, it did get a little bit samey for a while. Like, I could walk, close my eyes and walk, open them again, and it'd feel like I hadn't gone anywhere because everything just looked the same. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Got a bit of a lake, got some moo cows just grazing, doing their thing. I didn't think I'd miss like the open landscape so much. Lovely. I'm a bit worse for wear now. I did a little incline, and in this heat as well, all of a sudden I just like burst into like sweat. You know, when you get like sweat in your eye and it stings, you're like, ah! Anyway, let me turn the camera around because we just got to a point of interest, although it does look a little bit worse for wear. On the subject of worse for wear, I'm wearing some new hiking / walking trousers today, and they are really not working for me. My inner thighs are quite sore. I think I've got some cream that I can apply when I get home, but this is the first time that I've like felt sore in my legs, so it's got to be the trousers. I'll have to put my older pair on later just to see what the actual difference is and then work out what the problem is. But so far not great. The new top though works wonders. That like wicking technology stuff, it does make me feel cooler, And my backpack has kind of got like this frame which stops the bag from actually like resting against your back, and so it stops your back from being extra sweaty, and it actually helps keep cool. So far, all the times that I've taken this bag out, it has worked exactly how it's supposed to have done. The only problem is the frame that keeps the backpack away from your back eats into like the bag space that you've got, so I can't carry the drone in this bag because the case won't actually fit in there. For the last couple of years, I've really been toying around with the idea of adopting a dog, just for a little bit of company at home and just to encourage me to get out more. Like, I keep going, yes I will, no I won't, yes I will, no I won't. I know they can be expensive, and I know they can be heartbreaking if something happens to them, but the idea of having like that bundle of joy and energy just around. My biggest concern though, and the thing that always shoots me down, is being able to commit the time that they need to take them for walks, to just keep them company. I am at a point in my life right now where I can give a dog that kind of attention, but who's to say in 6 months, 3 months, a year's time, whatever, that I can't give that dog the time that they deserve, which sucks. Like, if I lived with somebody, I think I would lean more towards adopting a dog, because you can share that responsibility with somebody. But to have a dog for however many years, it's quite the commitment. I also considered getting rats, guinea pig and a chinchilla. I've gone through them all. Needless to say, I've not committed to any of those, but maybe in the future I will. But right now, I think now that I've found this new lifestyle that I'm dipping my toes into, I think this is going to give me all the satisfaction that I need right now. Yeah, I know you're going to shout at me right now, but I've not had a sip of water and I've not eaten anything yet, and I've been walking around now for an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half. So I know I should have had a few breaks by now, but I think the thing that spurred me on just to like plow through was the first bit of walking, and that kind of like boring bit. I just wanted to get that bit done, and then when I got to the bit that was a bit more interesting, and this bit now, it's more of a case of I kind of want to find somewhere nice to sit. Damn, I should have sat down somewhere at that old castle thing, but oh well. As soon as I find an opportunity to, I'll chill out and take a little break, I think. As nice as it might be to hire out one of these holiday homes that I'm going past, I'm not actually a huge fan of water, especially when I can't see through it. I think if it was something like blue or transparent in terms of the water, I might be a little bit more tempted by it. But a lake like this where it's all brown and murky, I wouldn't really want to get in that, to be fair. After that first initial stretch of the walk, where there's quite a few people around, I've barely seen a soul for the past hour or so, it feels like. Honestly, it's so quiet. It's great. It looks like we're hitting civilization again. I'm seeing more houses and stuff now. Before I started going out hiking, it's funny, I never ever noticed footpath signs before. Now I'm becoming a little bit more aware of them as I'm going along. They're so like discreet and hidden. It's kind of like, no wonder I've never really spotted them before. So that's kind of cool, you know? Cool and interesting. I couldn't resist, so I got myself ice cream, coffee cake, and a can of pop. The can of pop I really like, Rio, very nice, thank you. The coffee cake is great because I'm a big fan, but I never get to eat it because I don't really buy cake, so it's nice to have that. I'll devour that and have the can of pop when I get to the car. And but I'll be eating the ice cream now. I nearly went for a Mr. Whippy again, like I did the other day, but I decided against it. Another adorable coffee shop behind me with what looks to be some like chill out pods there. Just have a little pod to yourself, very nice. I didn't catch it on camera, but I think I would come all the way over here again just to go hang out in that little coffee shop bit. Like the garden bit had loads of new benches in there and it was really quiet. Oh, and that little shop that I stayed at to go and get the ice cream, cake and stuff, that all only came to about £8, which was an absolute bargain considering how much I got robbed the other day from the ice cream van for one can of Coke and a small ice cream, which came to £9. This was £1 cheaper and I got a piece of cake. Yeah. An Uber driver just stopped to ask me for directions. I was like, mate, I don't even know where I live, let alone wherever I am now. Best of luck to him. Actually, best of luck to the people that ordered the food. Well, according to my hiking map, my time in motion was 1 hour and 39 minutes and I did 5.34 miles. Admittedly, I didn't really stop that often to take footage, and I'm still a bit of an idiot because I actually didn't take a break, apart from when I stopped to get the ice cream just now. I've not had a drink yet, but I'm that close to the car. I'm going to stop and devour all the water that I brought with me, the can of pop and the cake. It'll be just gone like that. Bit of a windy one today, but we are in Mow Cop. I'm pretty sure I got that right. I keep saying Mock Cow in the back of my head somewhere, but plan is that we are going to be walking down there to look at some ruins of a castle, and then we're going to just walk all the way down the hill, follow a canal, keep going, and then walking back up again. It should be interesting, but this will finish our third tour of around the Biddulph area, and then we can move on to somewhere else. It's been a couple of days since I was last out, so I thought I'd give my thighs a couple of days to heal. I saw what the problem was. On the new trousers, they sit a little bit lower, so the seam at the crotch line was in the perfect position to like allow my thighs to rub together. So I've gone back to my original pair now, which solves the problem, thank God for that. Also, I had a terrible night's sleep last night. Really bad. I woke up feeling really groggy all morning, and then I just wanted to go out today, but my body was just like, no, don't do that. And then this afternoon I went for a little nap about 2 o'clock, almost immediately passed out, which is unlike me, and then I woke up feeling like a new man, and then a couple of hours later here we are doing this little adventure. So I parked about a mile away from the point of interest. There is a car park on site, but it's only small and it's only open till 8 PM. Also, the route that I took suggested that I start from where I started, so I'm just going with it really. I'm probably bigging it up a little bit too much by saying it's a castle. It's more like the ruins of like a corner of the castle, which I think is all closed off these days, but it's the view that I'm after. Apparently there's some half decent views when you get to the top of the hill where it is. We'll see. I'm not sure if you can see in the distance, but there appears to be a giant satellite dish. I don't know what that's all about, but when I get back I'll Google it and I'll label it. Whoa, what's that? Really far in the distance. It looks like a bunch of skyscrapers or something. Is there a city that I can see from here? No, that can't be right. Oh man, I wish I had a pair of binoculars or a telescope. I'll have to find out what that is as well. I'm so glad I didn't wear shorts today. This is really overgrown and very, very nettly. Wow, that's a big old rock, that is. You know, I keep calling it a castle. I don't actually think it claims to be a castle. I'm gonna have to look that up as well. Oh dear, I'm terrible at all this research stuff, aren't I? For the record, I'm not a massive fan of heights, although to be fair, I wouldn't really class this as like a oh my god I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna die kind of height. It's kind of like a gradual mound, I guess, but the views are still stunning. You wouldn't catch me standing on the Eiffel Tower and looking down, let's put it that way. But it's been a quiet trail so far. I've seen a couple of couples just like wandering around. There's a couple of people just like hanging up by that castle bit, just chilling out, having a laugh. There was a couple here just chilling out just now. It's just chilling and me wandering around. This has been really, really nice so far. Lovely views. Unfortunately, the rest of this trail, the next 3 or 4 miles, doesn't have any points of interest on it. We've had the stones so far and this castle thing, but essentially that's it now. I think the canal's the only real half interesting thing, but we'll find out, I guess. We'll have a look. I've got a while to go yet, a couple of hours to go, so let's crack on. So essentially this is a one big loop that I'm doing, where I've jutted out slightly to look at that rock and that castle thing. So now I'm just working my way back to the loop, which is where the bulk of the journey will be, and hopefully we'll get some really cracking views. I was worried when I got out the car that I had probably underdressed for the occasion, just wearing this one top, but yeah, I'm warmed up enough now that that isn't an issue. And where I've kind of been walking through, there's plenty of like shrubbery now to break up the wind, so thank goodness for that one. Although next time I should really bring some sort of lightweight jacket just in case. I mean, it's not supposed to rain, but it could be raining, you know. I should really pack for those kind of eventualities. I'm learning, I'm still learning. I've always had a poor relationship with food. I kind of eat when I'm sad because it makes me happy, and then it makes me happy for like 5 minutes, and then the fact that I've eaten it makes me sad again, and then you go through this one loop over and over again. I know that it is a thing and I have looked into it, but that's just kind of like the way it is, and I acknowledge it and I know that. But the point of me bringing that up is to say, I think one of the big reasons why I came out today, when really I maybe should have taken a day off, was because I was feeling guilty about some egg fried rice that I ate yesterday. I ate it and I was like, oh no. And the only reason I really felt bad about that is because the other day I stood on the scales and I was surprised. To put it lightly, I was surprised, yeah. So hopefully next week when I have a look, I'll be in for a pleasant surprise. We'll see. This terrain is so uneven, you've really got to keep your eye on the ball, otherwise you're going to roll your ankle, trip up or something, I don't know, but keeps you on your toes. So my plan is to eventually upload all of these videos that I've been doing onto YouTube and stuff like that. I've basically been creating a back catalogue of adventures, if you like, just so that when I do get around to it, I've got a collection that I can post on a regular basis without having to stress myself out and, you know, go on walks because there's a video due, for example. I don't know how things are going to slow down when I get a little bit busier, or when the weather changes. I don't know how I'm going to react to that. So we'll see. I'm just going to keep going, doing what I'm doing. I enjoy these videos, and I'm not necessarily doing these videos for you, no disrespect. I'm doing it for me. It's a huge motivator to document what I'm doing and to look back at these videos and be like, oh my god, yeah, you did that. You did feel this way when you did this. It wasn't all sun and roses. It did make you feel high. It's important, I think, to have these memories locked away. During my 30s, I feel like I didn't really lock in any memories. And when I look back at the last 10 years of my life, I'm like, holy crap, what did I actually do with myself? And I have to really think hard. Like if I had to bump into anyone, it's like, oh, Craig, how have you been? What have you been up to? Don't know really, you know? So I think that's what makes this documentation really important, so that when I look back in 10 years time when I'm 50, I can be like, oh yeah, that was awesome. You know, I'm just been thinking about it, looking back at that car parking space that I stopped at the very beginning of the video. I can kind of see myself rocking up with like a packed lunch and just chilling out, looking over at the views from the car. I'm going to be real with you now. Today's walk and the last walk that I did around the reservoir the other day, I would probably score, oh that sun, score a meh out of 10. There were some interesting spots, but there wasn't enough interesting spots along the way. Most of the journey for these two walks has just been very samey and generic. I think in the future, when I scout out more, I'm going to ensure that the trails that I take are far more interesting. So for example, I mean, this has kind of been my view for a while now, and it's not very exciting. I want a bit more like, ooh, yeah. Yeah, so that's my honest opinion. Look at me learning. I'm going to have a sip of water, a bite to eat, and then I'm going to continue along my journey. This little village is really nice, like really homely, very quiet. I could see myself living in a quiet area like this, to be fair. Someone I used to go to school with many years ago recently started her own YouTube channel, actually. She bought a longboat and she goes on little journeys out and about. I'll put a link and reference to her channel around here somewhere for you, if that interests you. I will say the best part about this trail, though, has been the lack of people. It's been really nice and quiet. It does make me feel at peace when I don't see anyone, but then you see the odd person here and there, like doing chores in their garden, for example, or, you know, somewhere in another field doing their own trail. I feel very at ease. Canal boats have got a very distinct sound, haven't they? When they go down, you just hear the diesel engine going. I wonder if there's any electric ones. I've never heard of one. Don't know, there must be one out there, surely.
Hey, this is Editor Craig right now. I got home and decided to look into this a little bit more, and I'm going to recommend a video if you're interested about this by a channel called Cruising the Cut. I'm going to put the link to the video below, but it talks about this guy who gets to try an electric canal boat and talks about how eerie the feeling is. Anyway, here is past Craig again.
I'm pretty sure that I saw somewhere that canals are man-made, or at least they used to be, or they are, I don't know. But how do they keep the water in the canal? Like, why doesn't the water run away anywhere through like the soil or anything? What do they line it with? Because if I swear to God, if I dug a hole in my back garden now and filled it with water, the water would be gone in a matter of days. So how do they keep it all in? What are these planks for? I don't know, I want to know. Now, I've mentioned to you before that I always keep an earbud in because I get audible directions from the commute app on my phone when I'm out and about. Same with looking at the map all the time. But I also listen to other stuff as well. Can you guess what I'm listening to? I'll give you a hint, it's not a podcast, it is music. What genre of music do you think's normally buzzing around in my ear? I've nearly completed 2/3 of the journey now, and then we're back on a road trail with no real views, unfortunately. But, as we do go into the last third of the journey, unfortunately I've had it easy up until this point, because a lot of the last hour or so has been downhill. Now I've got to go back up the hill. Yay! Jesus, note to self, next time bring a machete. I hate these overgrown paths. They are not fun. I do love a good sunset walk, but it has just occurred to me that there's been a couple of times I've been out on a walk and it's been quite late by the time I got back. Not really dark late, but late enough that if there was a problem or if I got lost, it could become a problem quite quickly. So I think in future I might have to take into consideration how long the walk's going to be and what time sunset's going to be, especially as the evenings are slowly starting to draw in again. That's funny. Whilst I was saying that to you, I took a wrong turning. I found my way back, but now it like is all dark and undergrowthy. Not a fan of this bit. I'm absolutely knackered after that hill, but you know what? I could have stayed at home. I could have binge watched TV, could have binge watched YouTube, played a game, but I didn't. I came out. Yes. Joke's on me. The hill kept going after I went around the corner. I've still got a while to go yet. I just need a little bit of a breather first of all. I'm parked up there somewhere by those people and those cars, but the trail's taking me a little bit further down and they're making me get on the main road that way. I could take a shortcut, but I'm not going to, out of sheer principle. Through the genuine pain, the exhaustion, having to walk through bogs, overgrown, dense areas of shrubbery, through sheep and cow poo and long grass infested with spiders. I'll tell you what, getting to the finish line makes it feel all worth it, especially when you can watch the sunset at the end of it.